Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another Transformers video review, and this time I'll be taking a look at the Railspike figure from Transformers Robots in Disguise. And now he does transform into the Shinkansen 500 series train. And I don't know how well this is coming off on camera, but mine definitely is showing its age. It is very yellowed. The 500 Cybertron tampograph on this side is almost completely faded off. Well, yeah, he's a train. He rolls like a train. One thing I do want to point out is that there was 2 releases over here in the United States of the Team Bullet train. I don't remember which one was first and which one came second, but there's a version here, the one I have, where the windows are actually painted on, and then there's the other one where the windows are not painted, so it's just bare white plastic where the windows would be. But he does have a link-up hitch right here for the other bullet trains, which we will look at later on after we take a look at all 3 of them individually here. Now for size comparison, this is what's a little bit of a bummer with these figures, is that these are mega class figures. But they don't take up a lot of space. Bring out Sideburn here. And you can see they are longer, much longer in vehicle mode than a deluxe car back then. So that's why they were kind of packaged as a mega class, but the overall mass is a little bit underwhelming. Then go ahead, since we're on terms of size comparison, we'll go ahead and look at a couple modern day Transformers here. So there is the Ironhide. And a deluxe Prowl. So you see how he fares with modern day figures that cost the same price. So yeah, smaller Transformers costing more has kind of always been a bit of a concern, which is one of the downsides of having a size, using size classes for price points, but does make it a little bit easier on the I guess on the retailers who are actually supposed to be selling these things. So anyways, going ahead and transforming them to robot mode, we're going to go ahead and take off the link-up hitch, which I do want to also point out, I modified mine. There was an little extended piece here on the end that I actually took off because the way this sits underneath, there's a couple grooves here along in the side, and there's a couple of square pegs in there that it just kind of snaps into, and then the piece was actually extending past where this split is between the legs, so that actually causes it to not close all the way in train mode, and that's an issue with the Hasbro release. The Takara release, that little nub on there is actually shorter, and the other thing to point out is all these windows are actually on translucent plastic, so all of the white and blue is painted onto translucent plastic to make the windows clear. So yeah, anyways, we'll go ahead and take this off now, and then to start transforming him, we're going to go ahead and pull the legs out and then separate them and rotate them around. and then fold the feet up. And then fold these heel spurs down. Now we got him standing up, and then we'll get the camera raised up a little bit more here. Next, go ahead and split the front of the train down. And then come here and take the arms, rotate them around at the elbow, and then pull down the shoulder there. Do the same on this side. And then take the giant windscreen from the bullet train, and then that's actually Rail Racer's head for when we do the combined mode. But on these series of joints, we're going to get it to come up like this, and then on this one in here, fold it down so that way it rests just like that on his chest. And then go ahead and rotate the head around. And there we have Railspike in his robot mode. And take a look at that head sculpt here. Very nice head sculpt. This is one I really do like a lot. He still has the bullet train motif going on with his head sculpt, and you can see it here on the top of his head, and also very bright pink eyes, which looks really nice. Some other details to point out here. We got a lot of nice molded greebling detail going on the inside of the train bits and on the outside of his legs now, as well as these skirt panels do come up, and then there's a lot more molded on detail there. And just overall really nice amount of detail on this figure, and some missile pods in the shoulders too, which is a nice touch. And then his weapon is this thing that we took a look at before, and what we do to get that into its weapon mode, fold down this little bar and then fold out the handle off the back, and then there is actually an LED light in here, so you can go ahead and press that and it lights up the base of the barrel. It would be nicer if this was kind of molded in that in the way that some clear plastic pieces do, where they can actually carry the light all the way through. But as you see here, it just kind of stops at the base, and if I turn off my desk lamps, try to get a better look of it, it still doesn't go all the way down. It's just about right there. And so that will go ahead and peg into his hand like that. There we go. For articulation, this figure does have a pretty good range of motion, especially for his time. We do have a hinge or a swivel at the neck. The shoulders do rotate 360 degrees as well as they do rotate out a little bit on this transformation hinge. And also double ball jointed elbow here for close to 180 degree bend. Nothing in the wrist, nothing in the waist. Hips are somewhat limited. If you get these hip skirts out of the way, they can kick out that far, but they can't kick back at all. And that's a little bit of a downside, just due to the way this is constructed. It doesn't really get to go anywhere. He does have knees too. Knees kind of bend at say a little bit more than 45 degrees at the knee, then nothing in the foot. So it's pretty decent posability, but overall kind of static. But not really too bad here. So now again for the size comparisons here, we're going to go ahead and look first at Sideburn in robot mode here, just so you can see how he scales with another figure from his timeline. Now there was a $10 price difference between the two of these. I feel like the Mega Class should have been released a little bit more along like a $15 price point instead of $20, because we had the trains and Skybite in that wave, as well as the 3-packs of Predacons, and then there's another 3-pack of Autobots that was released in the line. That was, all 3 of them were basic class repaints of Beast Machines, Vehicons. And there's probably a couple others that were released in this price point for this line, but overall I just feel like maybe a $15 price point would have been a lot better than a $20 price point, and especially here in robot mode with Railspike, we do kind of see that too. Railspike in the show, all the Team Bullet Train characters were supposed to be the biggest in robot mode, given the fact that, yeah, they're trains, so they were supposed to scale bigger than the rest of the figures. Now, the Autobot cars and the other deluxe figures do scale kind of alright with them, but when we bring Optimus into play here, now, yeah, these guys were even supposed to overshadow Optimus in size, but we bring Optimus in here, and Optimus is significantly bigger than Railspike. I feel like that is the one downside that I can see about this figure, is that it doesn't scale well as it does in the cartoon. But aside from that, it is still a pretty decent figure. And just go ahead and get him compared to Prowl again here in robot mode. And then also get Siege Optimus in here. So that's about it. Overall, Railspike's a really fun toy. When it comes down to it, I feel like he really does shine if you have the rest of the Team Bullet Train. So if you are going, I do recommend picking him up, but I also recommend picking up the rest of Team Bullet Train as well. Like, as a standalone figure, he's fine. It's just there's a lot more that, since he does combine with Team Bullet Train to form Rail Racer, it would be a little bit better to have the whole team, especially because of how he combines. He really doesn't get to do anything. Like, there's really no play function to him on his own. Now, yeah, growing up, actually, we only had Railspike, and I didn't have the other two until years later, and so I would always transform him for Rail Racer mode and just have him just pretend that I had the other two, so this guy was just a hovering upper torso and arms in Rail Racer mode. So that's about it for this figure. Again, pretty nice figure. I do recommend picking him up. I mostly only if you plan on picking up the rest of the bullet trains as well. So that being said, I hope you guys like this video review, and I will see you next time. Bye.